welcome back to another video, everybody. Hopefully everybody is having an awesome day today. As you guys already know by the title and the thumbnail, today we are going to be installing an engine leash on my 2013 Genesis Coupe 3.8. It's really a super simple mod. There's not a whole lot to say about it, so I'm going to show you guys the packaging and everything that comes with it, and then we're going to go ahead and jump right into the install. All right, everybody, here's the packaging the engine leash comes in. Here's the engine leash itself. Pretty simple stuff right here. And then here's the 3.8 performance sticker that comes with it. That's really all there is to it. Now, before we hop into the install, I'm going to show you guys what you need to install this thing. All you need is a 14mm socket. I got a 14mm T-handle right here, and then a 13mm socket, and that's really all you need for the install. All right, everybody, real quick, before we get into this install, there's two things I want to talk about. The first is, somehow I noticed that this bar is bent right here. Now, when we were installing the manifold riser, I noticed that we could not get the engine cover off for some reason. And I did a little bit of looking around, looked at some other pictures of some Genesis Coupes, and somehow this bar is bent. I have no idea how that would happen. Let me know in the comments below how you guys think it's even possible for that bar to get bent, because I have no idea, but it doesn't really seem to affect anything, but nonetheless, it is bent and it's pretty annoying. And then the second thing I want to talk about is, I believe this mod only works on the 3.8 Genesis Coupe. And also, in order to install this mod, you have to have this bar right here. So yeah, now that we've talked about that, let's go ahead and jump into the install. All right, everybody, so the first thing you're going to want to do to get this thing installed is go ahead and loosen these two bolts right here. All you need is your 14mm socket, and they should just come right off like so. First one down, and here comes the second one. All right, and then the next thing you're going to want to do is take your engine leash and install it on here like so. It just goes like this. So the wire side is facing towards the car. Just going to set this over here out of the way, grab these two bolts, and we're just going to tighten these back down now. Get it hand tight. Oof, do not want to drop these down in the engine bay, that's for sure. Torque it down a little bit with your 14mm now. Nice and tight, but not too tight. Next up, all you're going to want to do is take this nut off the eye bolt right here. Be careful not to drop this down in the engine bay either. Set that out the way. Now, you just want to take the eye bolt and stick it through this little hole back here. Now, I'm going to try and get a better view for you guys here in a second, but yeah, you just need to stick this eye bolt through this hole back here behind the manifold. Stick the washer up against it. Ow, it's kind of hot still, I'm not going to lie. I was just driving my car around. Now, you just want to take your lock nut and screw it onto the end of this thing. Now, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of hard to get to, and since my manifold is pretty damn hot, that does not help with this situation either. Yeah, you do not want to drop this bolt down in your engine bay, I can tell you that much. So we're going to slowly screw this thing on here, trying not to burn myself in the process, but this manifold is very hot. All right, so we basically got this thing on very loosely for now. So now is when you need your 13mm socket, and now you just got to screw this nut onto the eye bolt. It's going to take a little bit of force because you got to get those threads broken in on the lock nut. And out of nowhere, it just started raining. It was not even supposed to rain today. Of course, that's just my luck. All right, and just like that, we are back out of the rain. Now, one thing I do have to say is make sure your engine is cold when you're installing this, because you got to rest your arm on that pretty much to support yourself while you're screwing that nut back in. And it is way too hot to rest my arm on it, and it's going to make this process be a whole lot longer. But yeah, if you make sure your engine's cold, this will be so much easier to do. All right, everybody, I've finally just finished getting this thing installed. You're supposed to leave a little bit of tension on it so it can like move the engine and whatnot actually, and by pulling this thing, you're supposed to be able to move the engine a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the engine is moving whenever I pull on this thing. But yeah, really, it was a fairly simple install. I'm not gonna lie, it would have been about 10 times easier if you take this bar off. Well, in my case, if you take this bar off where it's bent, and then also if you take this line off right here, you'd be able to get to that so much easier, and this would turn into a 2-minute job probably instead of a 20-minute job. Now, since this is such a short and simple mod to install, I do not want to make a whole entire separate video reviewing this thing. So we're gonna go ahead and drive around with this thing for a little bit and see how I feel about it, see if it's worth it. But honestly, like, from what I've read, it definitely seems like it's worth it. It's definitely the cheapest mod I've ever gotten. It's really the cheapest mod that you can get for a 3.8 Genesis Coupe. It cost me about $47. I checked on the website. Oh yeah, by the way, I got this from 3.8 Performance. I'll leave it linked down in the description below if you guys want to pick one up for yourself. But yeah, I bought mine for $47, and I believe the shipping was free. I looked a little bit ago and it was $45 now, so it's $2 cheaper. So yeah, you can pick it up for 45 bucks. I believe the shipping is free. But now that we've talked about that, let's go ahead and take this thing for a spin and see how she feels now. All right, there was actually one more thing I wanted to talk about real quick before we rip this thing around and see if it's worth it or not. But here is everything that it says that the engine leash is supposed to do. So it's supposed to increase your off-the-line acceleration, significantly improves response to the throttle, tightens up the car under hard acceleration, reduces or eliminates the shifter rattle, improves power shifting, no lift shift by keeping the shifter in place, will improve 60-foot times, hard launches assuming you have traction, saves wear on engine mounts, and may fix grinding issues on manual transmissions. So yeah, that's everything that this thing is supposed to do. So now that you guys know that, let's go ahead and take this thing for a rip. All right, the rain has let up a little bit. Let's go ahead and launch this thing, see how it feels. Hopefully I do not rip my splitter off coming out of here. This is pretty steep looking, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't hear anything get ripped off. I think we're good to go. All right, let's go ahead and try ourselves a little launch right here. Oh, never mind. Let's go ahead and kick it right here. Do it right here. This ought to be great. All right, come to a stop, foot on the brake, foot on the gas. That felt pretty nice. Now that time I did launch it with the traction control on, and I could honestly notice it feeling a bit slower because it was pretty hesitant. It wanted to lose traction, but instead it just cut power. I should have launched it with traction control off, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Foot on the brake. Turn traction control off this time, and stability control. All right, give a little bit of gas. But I honestly don't know if I can notice a difference with all the other mods installed. Let's do another little send here. Alright everybody, that is really going to wrap it up for this video. I just wanted to show you guys how to install an engine leash on your 13 or up Genesis Coupe 3.8. Actually, I think it works on the 10 to 16 Genesis Coupe 3.8. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys how to install the engine leash on your Genesis Coupe. And as you guys saw, it was really fairly simple to install. It would be a whole lot easier if you take off all the extra little things and whatnot to make it easier to get to. But as you saw, I didn't do that. You don't have to do that, but it would make it easier. Now, do I think it's worth it or not? Yes, honestly I do. For $50, you're not going to get a better mod. Like, I couldn't necessarily notice a difference in off the line acceleration and everything, but then again, I'm almost full bolt on. So for those of you guys who have this mod, or for those of you guys who get this mod and your car is basically stock, let me know how it changes the performance on basically a stock Genesis Coupe. But yeah, like I said, that is really going to wrap it up for this video, everybody. I just wanted to show you guys how to install this engine leash and review it. If you guys like this video, do not forget to drop a like and subscribe. Peace out. I will see you guys in the next one.